So that's another Steam sale done and dusted, and I believe it was probably the worst Steam sale so far. Admittedly, it's been in steady decline since the Steam Summer Fort sale in 2012. This video is intended to look through some of the best sales, what made them special, and why recent sales haven't struck the same note with me. The games playing in the background are all games that I acquired from the early Steam sales that under normal circumstances I would probably have glossed over them and never given them a second thought. But through a combination of Steam raising awareness and ridiculously low prices, I gave them a shot and enjoyed them thoroughly. I'll start at the beginning. Although I had been on Steam for many years beforehand, the first sale I really took part in a big way was the Steam Summer Camp sale back in 2011. This sale consisted of collecting game-specific achievements which had been added specially for the event, in some cases as part of additional levels or activities which had been added to the games. The idea being that when you collected achievements you also got a coupon which could be used to buy items from the Summer Camp prize stall. Once you collected enough of the coupons you could buy little exclusive items, maps and even a game from the stall, in much the same way that you do at little seaside amusements. This all added together to give you little incentives to have a full look at the games in hopes of getting some bonus DLC for your other games, things like an extra car for Test Drive or an extra map for Zombie Driver, and you could even get some of these just by using features on Steam which you would have otherwise ignored. Back in 2011 they also did huge publisher and developer bundles which were ridiculously good deals. I managed to pick up the entire id catalogue for under 30 quid and the entire GTA collection for under a fiver. I haven't seen any deals as good as these ever since, and the best you seem to be able to hope for is getting a few selected titles, most of which you already have, in the hopes of getting a few quid off the game you actually want. The peak of Steam sales came later that year in my opinion with the Great Gift Pile Winter Sale, which did roughly the same but also had a side competition in which it was possible to win every game on Steam. In much the same way as in the previous sale you had to earn achievements in specific games and you were awarded an incredibly festive lump of coal for each one. Virtual, naturally, actual coal is probably quite a good present now. Anyway, you had two choices with these lumps of coal. You could either keep them to one side and each one you had gave you an entry into the competition, or you could craft 7 pieces into a gift from the wondrous and mysterious gift pile, which you could get discount coupons for specific games or developers, and even full games totally for free. I managed to scoop up 3 copies of Rome Total War Gold Edition and Killing Floor at the time, and as I already had Killing Floor and the sale was encouraging players to venture out into the world of trading, I managed to trade it for Quake 4, which is a great and underappreciated game by the way. Unfortunately the sale wasn't as controlled as they have now become, and some users piggybacking off the hundreds of 1-cent bundles they have previously siphoned off the Humble Bundle had started creating accounts to farm coal and get as much free stuff as they could get their greedy little hands on. I don't know if this is what ultimately led to them supposedly running out of gifts towards the end of the sale, but it certainly won't have helped. From that point on, the big feature in the sales was the constantly daily changing of prices and flash deals coming and going to encourage you to come back and check it a couple of times a day to see if the game you were after was on sale, and later the introduction of community votes to choose which out of 3 games would get a sale. This was all alright, but it did somewhat lose its charm when you realised it was possible for the same game to go on sale 3 or 4 times over the course of the sale, and there wasn't actually as many good deals as it first seemed. They also introduced Steam badges as part of the sales, which at the time didn't really have any meaning and didn't have a purpose. The real reason, from Valve's perspective anyway, came much later in the form of trading cards, which still don't really have a purpose but people collect them anyway, and it generates some extra income just for adding some art assets onto the games. These all really formed the backbone for the sales for several years, with various little events coming and going which had little to nothing to do with the sale at all, such as the Monster Clicker game which made up part of the summer sale back in 2015. Over the last 2 sales though, the real downfall has been the loss of daily deals. They now reduce everything to a baseline, which you can usually get it at that price in the months leading up to the sale anyway, so there is no reason to check back. You may as well just make a list of what you want to buy and then edit it through the sale when you decide what you actually want to buy. I believe this recent change was most likely caused by the introduction of Steam refunds, which would negate the effect of flash and daily deals as people would just ask for their refund and buy it at the cheaper price when it comes up. But ultimately Steam refunds is a more useful and important tool to the users, especially given the amount of broken on launch and early access tat that it pumps out on a daily basis now, which you start to realise when you have a look through your exploration queue. The Steam Awards was this winter's big event, but I see it to be a big disappointment, as it essentially resulted in several games being awarded prizes in categories that were poorly defined and could easily be misinterpreted by the Steam users and voters. It was essentially a massive waste of time, as when it came down to choosing from the nominations, users were actively encouraged to vote on one of the 5 games, some of which they'd probably never played before and therefore will only vote on the one that they did play. And given that this is an event organised by Valve and involving millions of people and vast amounts of cash, you would have thought they could have gathered the nominees and streamed a little award ceremony, But nope, it was all summarised on one page. No numbers, no percentages, no actual awards. A massive waste of time. So that is a brief history of my experience and thoughts on the Steam sales. My reasoning for doing a video on it was purely to express that the recent sales have been much less fruitful than in previous years. The games that I bought were very bog standard and no real indie gems shone through like they used to. I spent most of my time wading through free to play or early access survival crafting worlds, which are in various states of disrepair, which because of the overpopulation will probably never be finished and therefore serve little purpose other than putting on the developer's CV. I mentioned at the start that all of the games running in the background I've enjoyed thoroughly, and without Steam sales I would probably have never given them a second look, let alone bought them. Some, like Zombie Driver and Binding of Isaac, I'm now showing the most recent incarnation just because it makes the most sense if you want to pick them up yourself. I understand that it's a bit weird to reminisce about what is a sales event, but it's the fact that it used to be an interactive event which if you used carefully you could get little bonuses for free, and it helped a lot of people venture out of playing the same game every day. Anyway, what do you guys think about the most recent sales? Do you have fond memories of the old sales as well? And do you have any games that you found through the Steam sales? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.